and welcome to Clockwise Thoughts. I'm Scout, and of course, this is Black.
Hi everybody, how y'all doing today?
All right, today, people, on the spotlight, me and
I
Black
like
really
that.
excited about this one.
I'm
We
forward
really
for it.
excited about Mr. Stuart Orlando Scott. For y'all younger people that's watching this who don't know who Stu Scott is,
There's a reason why.
I'm
There's a reason why, because there hasn't been another since.
gonna say this: ESPN would not be where they are now if it wasn't for this man. He was that
Listen,
good of a sports announcer, an anchor, during a time to where the man brought catchphrases up front, had a little pizzazz, a little swagger, as you would say, is when he was doing his craft.
now look,
And it
now look.
hasn't
Hold
won.
on. Hold on. Before we even go there, to those who come before us, to the Howard Cosell, to the Bob Costas. No disrespect to you guys. We understand
Mm.
that you guys are pillars in the industry for what you do. We mean that with the utmost respect. But for those of us who have had will have a more of an affinity for the NBA, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You could tell me my team lost by a million, but the way that man would deliver it, I sit there and listen to every word of it. Every word of it.
I'm telling you, he was growing up, especially in high school when he first came to the scene, or will recognize scene. Uh, I will say this: I did not miss an episode. Did not miss this man
Mm.
giving feedback on. I don't I don't even watch baseball or ice hockey, but when Mr. Stuart Scott delivered it, you be
What?
sitting there and you can
The
just
gospel.
visualize like
The
you
gospel
don't
of it.
say. He went deep with
The
that, huh?
it really sounds. I could really picture that. The way you describe
Yes,
it, those catchphrases, those adjectives, yeah, that instantly hits a chord, and I'm like, I get the perfect picture of what you're trying to say.
yes. Because my dad's a Yankees fan. I've stayed true to the tribe with the Indians my whole entire life. A Rod's first game versus the tribe, and he went deep, and Stuart Scott covered it. Was like, oh yeah, booyah! He goes deep for 400. I said, and I'm sitting there looking like, you can't even be mad. You
Because that's what that home run looked like.
you
It looked
can't.
like if it was in a comic book that would jump as soon as the ball hit the bat. You just see the booyah, and it's
Yeah, and
flying.
I couldn't even be mad because I was like, we did he a rookie. We did we did
Made you get
Indy.
excited about it. No matter
Yeah,
who it
but
was, no matter if it was happening to your team or not, made you get excited about it the way he delivered it. Made you want to watch the next time that person was available to see if you were going to get another one of those highlights the way he described it. Or at least that's how it was for me. Look, I can't play much in the way of sports. Okay, I can't throw and I can't catch. I can be honest about that, but I can play me some basketball.
there you
The
oh
way the way Stuart Scott would convey the highlights, it was one of the it was honestly it was one of those things where when I was a kid, if I stayed home from school, that's what made me watch Sports Center on the continuous loop for about 3 hours, to just repeatedly
yes.
hear the way he would deliver the previous night's basketball stats. Just to hear the way that he would convey what happened in a game that I either did see or didn't see, and kind
Way
of made
how
me
he
feel
broke
like I
down
was watching
Shaq.
it all over again.
Yes, the way how this man broke down Shaq, like in a little monologue when he first showed up at LA, not including when he was breaking down him in Orlando, but I'm saying when he showed up on the scene in LA and he did that little monologue for Shaq. Oh, I was way past Hook, way in, but it was, it's like how you said, it was like you was listening to someone reading a comic book. And you know how that old Batman series would say, if they hit someone, you pow
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you was listening and watching him, but you could see it in your mind, like
Happening just like that.
you know, I got that. This
Just
man is
like that.
remarkable. Yes, highly remarkable. But like how Black said, we're not discrediting anyone before him. But for us to hear the way how he talked and gave his catchphrases and everything else, it drew you in more as a fan of him,
Yes.
and to watch what he was
The
doing,
sport.
and yeah, to see what would he say. And
Yeah.
it still boggles my mind to like how stuff is going on in the NBA now. What would he say? What would he
Well,
say? Because he always had these catchphrases and these moments in basketball history where this man just broke it down and was like, you have Shaquille O'Neal, this 7'3" monster walking with swagger on the court for Zaz. Oh, and by the way, he'll yank the whole entire rim down on you. What? Wait, where did that part come from? like
well,
he would set you up.
Stu, Mr. Scott was kind of like a pioneer in that regard, where he, because he did work local news before he did ESPN and did just the sports news, but he always had that ability to kind of deliver what he was saying, so much as barbershop talk. And follow me when I say this, because I want to say barbershop talk has been going on a long time, but barbershop talk is kind of talk amongst your friends that you congregate with, right? You still with me? You still with me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. Stuart Scott, the way he read those stat lines, it was more like cookout talk, like talk among family. There was a familiarity there with the way that he conveyed what he was saying, as simple as it was, which was really just some statistics and some really well placed, well emphasized, well delivered lines. But you felt like you felt more like, by the way he spoke, by the phrases that he used, you were like, you know what, that's not even something that I've heard out in the street or what have you. That's more something that I've heard within my own family, and I think that's what aided in his ability to connect as well as to be a trailblazer. Was, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I'm talking to you as a friend. I'm talking to you as a family member. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the things that just his whole demeanor was, he was like that cool uncle that you got. You know what I mean? That uncle that you see every so often, but he gonna come in, he gonna drop some serious knowledge to you, some ridiculous
And it's gonna
wisdom
make you think
in a
until the next time you see him. Like,
in a
hey,
few lines, and you gonna be like, yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, now I'm gonna be watching what you were talking about, just to see the stuff that just to see the way the way you emphasize certain points. I want to see that for myself in real time. Yeah, yeah, I'm serious.
oh yeah,
Like, he was an amazing person, a ridiculously talented anchor, excuse me, a ridiculously talented anchor. Could
yeah,
could could convey, and I mean, even in serious moments, OJ, things of that nature. I'm sorry. Um, can still deliver actual real information in in a manner that you're like, okay, okay. All jokes aside, yeah, this is for real.
oh yeah, and just remark. And the thing about it, ESPN did not find him until '93.
Mm-hmm.
Until
About 10
'93,
years.
and yeah, and the thing about it, people forget. This man brought Shakespeare, Southern Baptist, and all around flavor to his own personality to get you intrigued about sports. It's like how we've been saying, it didn't matter what the sport was. He was going to add a little extra to it to where people caught on. And like how we said, visualize. It's like how you said, it didn't have to be your team. It could be a rival. And what? You don't
Mm-hmm.
say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just being that chromatic, being that life full of life, and it showed on air like that. This man won countless awards. He introduced and gave people countless awards. But it's like how you said, it was like you were sitting down talking to your family member.
Mm-hmm.
This man was dealing with cancer, but would still have conversations with people at the gym or at rehab about what's going on with them and really wouldn't focus on him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and still had a chance to write a book during all of this. And
I mean, that's a
it's just amazing. Um, let's get down to some of the facts. He was born July 19th, 1965. Like how we said, ESPN didn't find him until 93. Okay. You know, a lot of people look at it. He wasn't even hired for the major part of ESPN, ESPN 1, or just plain ESPN. He was hired for ESPN 2,
mm-hmm.
a primary show called Sports Night. And that meant it came on in the evening, just a small little
just kind of
segment.
just kind of wrap up everything. Yeah.
But yeah, just to wrap it up. And it's funny to me, he was born in Chicago. They didn't move to North Carolina. He was born in Chicago in 65. His family member did not move to North Carolina until 72. So okay, he's about 7. They're in Winston-Salem. They moved there, which in his own right, Mr. Scott, he played sports, football, basketball, a heck of a receiver, uh, good
Ran
student,
track. Ran track.
ran track, a D1 athlete. And like how he said in his book, when he got to college, he know what he was gonna do. He was just like, man, I'm gonna take some general courses, and if I can make it doing sports, hey, it'll be great. It wasn't until his sophomore year he came. Someone just asked him to come sit in on a live radio show, and it took him watching the local school anchor there in North Carolina one time. Watch this man and just some lit. Oh, okay, I know I can do this.
Yeah.
But you know, not saying from all his background to discourage anything. You know, the man came from very humble beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, brothers and sisters, whole deal. People before him, small net family, love, everything else, but hard times. And steadily to keep moving forward as what we've been speaking. The story was that he traveled way before he even got to where he was at ESPN, doing local radio shows and stuff like that, building up his resume.
Local news
Yeah,
programs, and yeah, it's like that's his his I don't like I don't want to call it pizzazz because I don't want to say this is so it's made for show. I don't want to say it's manufactured. His I want to like more his zest. You know what I mean? Is what really brings you into him. He's a humble man, but yet still has a zest for life in a sense.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That grabs you and it brings you in.
Oh yeah, and it's what can you say when you have a personality that's like that? You know, and he's actually sat down with some of the greats, not only mainly in basketball, but not only in basketball, but some of the greats of like Michael Jordan, close friend, um, Kobe Bryant. Everyone was looking like, yo, what? Okay, I gotta listen to what Stu said about my game. The early years of LeBron James, like, okay,
The man
you know,
sat down with Bill Clinton and he played ball with Barack. Like, bruh, you know how many cameos Stuart Scott's in? You know how many like references there are to him in movies
he was
coming
in
up
a
through
rap
the
video.
late '90s and 2000s? Like, come on, bruh. People know who he is. They know what he brings to the table. You know that man is good at what he does.
Oh yeah, from
And
rap
again, it's not
videos,
this is not to take
commercials.
away from this is not to take away from anybody who's doing this now. Look, I like SVP. Scott Van Pelt, I like. I do. Neil Everett, Sanford, I like those guys. They're Kenny Mayne's funny. It's kind of dry, but Kenny Mayne's funny. But guys, when it comes to really reading those, when it comes to letting us know what happened in the game I didn't see, what regardless of whatever sport it was, what happened because I like sports. I love basketball, but I like sports. So that's what ESPN was made for. People who love sports. Just the,
Right.
just the idea of competing, athletes competing. So for us, it's who's gonna give me, or at least for me personally, because I'm an excitable person. Who's gonna give me that recap? Who's gonna tell me what I want to know in a way that is appealing to my ear? You know what I mean? And there have been a lot of you know a lot of talent, a lot of personalities at ESPN, but in truth, I haven't come across anything genuinely close to that. No real
No.
personality that tells me, hey, you know what I mean? I'm genuinely hyped up. I'm excited about what I do.
Oh yeah, he was one of those to where
Professional, but yeah, still as excited as a kid in the candy store, so to speak.
yes, and he had that mentality, and then he made you have it too, cause you get
Yeah,
excited to be like, yeah, that's smooth right there.
that makes you
And
say, did you see that whatever, what play, whatever, what have you,
yes,
last night. Even though you didn't watch the game might not have even been available in your area, but you saw it on Sports Center and you were looking at anybody you saw in school, at work, at the water cooler, or what have you. Like, did you see that?
yes.
Mostly because of the way it came across your ear. Yeah.
Uh, the other thing that I like about Mr. Scott, he was a very family man. His two daughters, he talked and cherished about them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
One of his his final speech, you know, his his oldest daughter couldn't be there, but his youngest daughter was, and he also brought her on stage towards the end. Very humble with them. He understood his role as a dad. And he explained to his kids, listen, I gotta do this, and this, but if I can make it, squeezing this time, hey, I'm there. And a lot of times people really don't understand that part of it.
The
You
family
know,
aspect.
yes, because
Yeah, because it's very taxing.
that's
It's very taxing when you have family members with those kind of obligations. Like I said, he kind of reminds you almost of that uncle. You know what I mean? That
right.
uncle with that cool uncle that does the cool job that you don't. That's why you don't get to see him that often.
Mm. And it's so remarkable. Like his daughters was more surprised that he sat down with Venus and Serena, like how you said, President Clinton, President Obama, Obama. Like they was like, don't worry about our game. You just did. And he
But
was like, oh,
you
no, that's
just
fine, but I missed your game. I'm sorry.
yeah.
But give me a little feedback about it.
Well, yeah,
Like,
because
it's a totally different level. And a lot of people, you know, even he said in his book, a lot of people downplayed him for that because they said he was more chasing after success. And he had to correct a lot of people. He said, no, he said, my greatest achievements will always be my two girls. He said, I just wanted to make sure they would always have anything that they desired and did not have to all the time, they have just a little bit more. Not saying that his kids would be spoiled and have all this, and that. He just said just to give them a little bit more help.
yeah, but see, I think that's most people just giving, trying to throw stones from a glass house. Because realistically, ask yourself a question: if I have the opportunity to miss your, let's say I'm going to miss your, you know, high school championship game. You know what I mean? Literally, I'm going to miss the pinnacle of your high school career.
Right.
But in doing so, what I'm about to do is going to take care of you for the rest of your life, basically. You have sense, so you're still going to, you're going to do what you're supposed to because you were raised properly. But
Right.
unfortunately, I have to miss this moment now to make sure that even when I'm not around, which unfortunately ultimately happened far too early,
Yes.
this way you'll be good in my absence. In hindsight, as bad as it sounds, those people who criticize, again, I know this is just hindsight, but those people who criticize should be criticized because, as you can see, he didn't have much time, but
No.
he was effective. He was very effective when he was here.
Oh yeah. Because it's like how I said, his last speech, people he even said it during it. The week, just a few days before the ESPYS happened and he received the award, he said, I was in the hospital, had tubes all up in my body, did not know if I was going to make it here. And he said, I didn't take it for granted. He said his girlfriend at his side, who never left, kids showing up, other family members. And he said the moment they released me, he was thinking, well, me getting this award, but my oldest child has you know, getting ready to go into her internship. Should I be there for that? Or should I do this? And his daughter told him, Dad, the whole entire show, you get the final award at the end of the night. It's about you. You probably need to go. And he was like, I'll miss it all just to be there for you in the morning for your first internship. That
You know what I
type
mean?
of level, you know what I'm saying? That type of level to where you humble yourself, you know what? It's an award. Family.
A very,
I got
very
that.
prestigious award in your industry, yes.
Yes. And then it's just remarkable. Like people on that type of level, Like we may us as a people, it's like how you say, we criticize people for so much. The people is like what you just said. The people that's criticizing, you probably need to know both sides of that coin because some people out here and some of us either you're deployed or your job status, you're gone and you can't be there for the moments that your significant other or somebody else in your family has to take pictures for you. Or, nowadays with all these social media platforms and everyone got a cell phone glued to their hand, you know, takes a video or goes live to share it with you because you can't be there.
Mhm.
And it's just
And I mean,
remarkable.
they had that ability back. They had that ability, because again, Stuart Scott passed in 2015. It's 5 years from,
Right.
where we are
You
now.
know,
But with everybody using Zoom, I mean, we're on Zoom now, but you know what I mean. This kind of technology did exist back then. It just probably wasn't as widely used.
right. So, it's for him to even be like that, then it shows just another part of his stature of no, yeah, I'm a great anchor, but at the end of the day, I'd rather be a great dad than an anchor. And it
Well,
just
Stuart
showed so
Scott
much.
believed time was the most valuable asset, and you couldn't get that back, so you had to make the best use
Right.
of it.
Because he said it all the time. Nah, time. You have 24 hours in a day. How are you going to use that? And this is from a guy who you saw his when he started getting sick. You saw his transformation
Hmm.
live, worldwide, live on the air of from a healthy, stocky frame when he first started in '93, about 240 something to, you know, not gonna say sickly looking because that I don't want to even label like
But he
that.
did, but he did slim down.
Yeah, is he slimmed down to a buck 65? And but one thing I will honestly say, the man didn't complain. He didn't blame. He didn't blame nobody. He didn't complain. He never said what was going on with him was a burden.
No.
You know, and we all as people, sometimes achy back or messed up whatever, and we're like, oh my God, this job is what's going on. Not one time.
And the thing is, you could never really. I mean, you could see that physically his body was transforming, but it's like his demeanor didn't change. So
No.
to the naive few, you're like, okay, maybe he's just losing weight or he's just getting older. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like you're seeing someone breaking down in that regard. Like he still gave you the same passion and the same flair on everything that he did.
Right. Even Dylan through it did not skip a beat of how he delivered and showed his craft. So for y'all people watching this, I'm telling you, go back, go on YouTube, just type in to Stuart Scott. Watch a couple of the early days ESPN commercials, or just hear him talk just a little bit, and you will honestly see and know. Me and Black grew up through it, but honestly, for us, reminiscing and seeing someone else, like it takes you back to be like, man, hold on, I remember this one. This one was a great show. I remember this one, and it even will take you back to think, man, yeah. Then was the times like that. How, yeah, oh, he gave me a good one with this one, and it
Well,
will
again,
actually,
I don't think that you're going to. I don't think a lot of people are really going to understand because and again, this is not to try and throw shade. It's just I don't really I don't really. Maybe the next Stuart Scott is out there on his way up right now. I I I I pray so, but you don't really get that feel that mm, about it. And again, I'm not trying to throw shade at any employees. ESPN is pretty much the sporting news leader, but
right?
with all the personalities that they have for every different aspect, again, I'm speaking as an NBA fan, I guess specifically. We just don't have that. We don't have that guy that makes you like, man, you know what I mean? I kind of wish I do want to get the NBA package just so I could see, you know what I mean, this guy
Yes.
play over there because of the way I this guy's highlights and this dude was reading it. You know what I mean? You just don't feel that anymore.
No. But hey, it he was a person, how would my grandmother say this? He was a person for the moment that you needed that gave an everlasting impression.
Hmm.
And I will say this, thank you, Mr. Scott, because for me and Black, always enjoyed, always enjoyed hearing, seeing what you did. It's been remarkable, and for us to do this piece on you, for us, it's been remarkable, honestly, because what, like how I
Man,
said,
you
watching some
were
of them
colder than the
clips.
other side of the pillow, sir. Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
oh,
in
oh,
every
yes.
way, every way possible.
Oh yes, you were cooler than the other side of the pillow for sure. And um, I'm gonna say thank y'all for watching the spotlight on Mr. Stuart Scott. Me and Black gonna leave you with this. When the clocks reset, we'll see you on Clockwise Thoughts. But we're gonna
Excellent.
leave you with a couple pieces from Mr. Stuart Scott on this one. Peace.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Tomorrow all my boys are going to be like, yo, man, I saw you at the ESPYs with Peyton Manning, Money Mayweather, and KD. I'm going to be like, yeah, whatever. Jack Bauer saved the world, and he introduced me. 24 is my favorite TV show of all time, so Kiefer Sutherland, thank you very much. I am very honored. Every day I am reminded that our life's journey is really about the people who touch us. When I first heard that I was going to be honored with this reward, the very first thing that I did was I was speechless, briefly. I've presented this award before. I mean, I've watched in awe as Kay Yao and Eric LeGrand and all these other great people grace this stage. And although intellectually I get it, I'm a public figure, I have a public job, I'm battling cancer, hopefully I'm inspiring. At my gut level, I really didn't think that I belonged with those great people. But I listened to what Jim Valvano said 21 years ago. The most poignant 7 words ever uttered in any speech anywhere. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Those great people didn't. Coach Valvano didn't. So to be honored with this, I now have a responsibility to also not ever give up. I'm not special. I just listened to what the man said. I listened to all that he said, everything that he asked of us, and that's to build the V Foundation. And let me tell you, man, it works. I'm talking tangible benefits. You saw me in that clinical trial. Now, here's the thing about that. Coach Valvano's words 21 years ago, helping me and thousands of people like me right now, direct benefits. That's why all of this, why we're here tonight, that's why it's so important. I also realized something else recently. You heard me kind of allude to it in the piece. I said, I'm not losing. I'm still here. I'm fighting. I'm not losing. But I got to amend that. When you die, that does not mean that you lose to cancer. You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and in the manner in which you live.